One of the biggest myths that still seems to be peddled today about Muhammad Ali is his best performance, and the biggest proof you can give that Muhammad Ali was untouchable in the late 1960s and how invincible Muhammad Ali was is his fight against Cleveland Williams. The reason people give the example of Cleveland Williams is Cleveland Williams was known as one of the best boxers back then. He was big. He would even be classed as a heavyweight today. He was 6'3", 210 pounds. He was a big puncher for the 1950s and 60s, and he was a very good boxer. He gave Sonny Liston two very good, very entertaining, exciting fights of probably Sonny Liston's career. And he gave Sonny Liston a very good fight. So he's put right up there near the top. And that's how people still look at Cleveland Williams when they talk about him. And it was also because Muhammad Ali dominated him so viciously. He just completely outclassed him over the 3 rounds and stopped him in the third round. It was just complete dominance from Muhammad Ali. So everyone uses this as an example. Now, the reason why it's a myth and it's a reason why it's the worst example to give of how good Muhammad Ali is 1964, a police officer shot Cleveland Williams in the stomach with a magnum, and he was put into critical condition in hospital. He had one of his kidneys removed. He had 10 feet of his intestine removed. He had severe nerve damage in his leg. He couldn't. It made him handicapped basically, and it made him a shadow of what he was before. He was out of boxing for 2 years with this injury, and you've got to remember it must have been bad because that was his bread and butter. That's how he made money. He couldn't make money anywhere else. It had to be from boxing. The only reason he got back into boxing, and well, today I doubt he'd be allowed back into boxing with what had happened to him and how bad he was after that fight. And the only reason he got back into boxing is because that's how he made his money. That's all he could do. So that's the only reason he came back, and it was just a big name for Muhammad Ali to score off. Cleveland Williams had beat no other very impressive boxers of that time on his comeback, and Muhammad Ali completely schooled him. Anyone got any doubt about this at all? I mean, you can look it up on Wikipedia. If you read, well, I've only read about maybe 3, 4 of Muhammad Ali's books, but in the dressing room, Muhammad Ali remembers a conversation he had, I think, with Angelo Dundee, and they were talking about, oh, well, Cleveland Williams has just passed it. Cleveland Williams has completely passed it. It's a money fight. We should try and get this over as quickly as possible because he's a shadow of what he was before. He's a shell of what he was before. He's got no chance of beating him and putting up a good fight. That's what the conversation was. So they all knew it. Everybody knew it. This was a payday for Cleveland Williams. It was a big name for Muhammad Ali to score off, but there was nothing left for Cleveland Williams. He was handicapped. He had severe nerve damage in his leg. He shouldn't have been boxing. And the other thing you need to take into consideration with this fight as well is every other big named heavyweight Cleveland Williams fought after Muhammad Ali also beat him. I'll put it through some names. Mac Foster also knocked him out in the third round. For example, George Chavlou, I can't remember his exact name. Trying to think. Al Jones, yeah, Mac Foster twice, knocked him out in the third round and the fifth round. Alvin Blue Lewis, who Muhammad Ali all fought, knocked him out in the fourth round. Chaco Halloran, he was in the Superman films. I think Joe Frazier knocked him out as well. Even he managed to beat him. George Travalu, the Canadian, probably not pronounced that last name right, but all the names beat him after this fight. This is the worst example you can give of Muhammad Ali being at his best in dominance. The best example you could give from the 1960s is the Sonny Liston fight, or the Ernie Terrell fight, or even if you want the Zora Fawley fight. They're far better examples. That's Ali fighting a competitive fight. against someone with some actual ability and it's not handicapped and actually still has something left. They're far better examples. I mean, imagine Tyson Fury fighting someone that's handicapped with severe leg damage, severe nerve damage in their leg, and you couldn't possibly say that's the best fight of their career. And by watching that fight, that's how you judge how good he is. You judge how good a fighter is uh, by the top quality fighters around at that time. That's how they judge the quality of a fighter. It's not by looking at somebody that's weak and feeble and past it and saying, well, he smashed the hell out of him, look how impressive he is, nobody can beat him. I think that should be obvious, and I think the only reason people still use Cleveland Williams as an example is because they don't know the full story of what happened to Cleveland Williams and what people were actually saying about Cleveland Williams at the time, because it was such a long time ago now. Now all the information's out there on the internet, and it's out there on books, and it's out there on DVDs, and people that are Muhammad Ali fans should really know what state Cleveland Williams was in at the time, and try and find a half decent example of someone that he beat at that time, like Ernie Terrell, like Sonny Liston, like Zora Foley. These are all live competitive opponents and are far better examples than Cleveland Williams, obviously.